This week, we are finishing up the book of Micah, and we'll read the book of Nahum, another one of the minor prophets. These prophets may not be your favorite read, but they were men of God who had been instructed by him. These books are important to know and realize that we also must turn from things of the world and turn to our Father and pay attention to him. There are devotions posted for each daily read this week, and they were written by Dolores, Jeannie, and Bart. Micah showed great faith in God, both personally and on Israel's behalf, as he closed out his book in chapter 7. He proclaimed that he would wait upon God and that God would bring his people through when times were tough. In an age when religion was making little difference in people's lives, Micah said that God expected his people to be just, merciful, and humble. God requires the same of Christians today. Now, on to the book of Nahum, written sometime around 663 BC. His name means comfort, and his message was certainly a comfort to the Jews who feared and hated the cruel Assyrians' threats to their security. He was a prophet, like Jonah, who had seen Nineveh, the capital of Assyria, repent 100 years earlier. We have read the book of Jonah already, so you can review this prophet's book, devotions, and video by searching for it on the blog at biblicalshakers.blogspot.com. Assyria was the most powerful nation on earth. They were proud of their self-sufficiency and military might and were very cruel to their victims. Now, as we have said, 100 years earlier, Jonah had preached in the streets of this great city of Nineveh. The people had heard God's messages and had turned from their evil. Now, generations later, evil was again reigning, and the prophet Nahum pronounced judgment on this wicked nation. Because of their sins, Nahum predicted that this proud and powerful nation that oppressed God's people would be utterly destroyed and fall within 50 years. Once again, the people turned to worldly things and turned away from God, their Father. The theme of the book explains that God judges and God rules. This book focuses on the holy character of God, who cannot allow sin to go unpunished. In chapter 1, Nahum declares Nineveh's fall. Chapter 2, he describes it, and chapter 3, he defends it. As you read Nahum, sense God's wrath as he avenges sin and brings about justice. Then decide to live under his guidance within his rules, commands, and guidelines for life. We have just completed the reading of 3 more minor prophets. Anxious for next week's read? Well, you'll just have to check in and see, because Biblical Shakers makes reading the Bible way more enjoyable for you. And I pray that the Lord would put a hunger on your heart.